AfterBuzz TV, starting place to the likes of WWE female superstars Kathy Kelly, Sonya Deville, and Zelina Vega proudly presents Women's Wrestling Weekly, the world's first podcast and YouTube series dedicated exclusively to women's wrestling, featuring all the latest news as well as interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz TV's own gorgeous lady of wrestling, TK Trinidad.
Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad. I am your host of the Canadian Assassin, and I am alone today, which is different, but we're powering through. But I'm not completely alone, because then you guys just going to be watching. So we have an amazing guest today. Please welcome the glamorous Amaris Blair. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not hearing any audio at my end.
I know you disappeared.
Some technical issues.
Are you hearing me now? I can hear her.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. My bad. Maybe it's me. Yeah, it's possible.
I know you disappeared.
Technical issues.
AfterBuzz TV, starting place to the likes of WWE female superstars Kathy Kelly, Sonya Deville, and Zelina Vega proudly presents Women's Wrestling Weekly, the world's first podcast and YouTube series dedicated exclusively to women's wrestling, featuring all the latest news as well as interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz TV's own gorgeous lady of wrestling, TK Trinidad.
Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, and I am kind of alone today, but not really. We have an amazing guest. She's from Elev8Pro. Please welcome Amaris Blair.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So pretty much thank you so much for joining me. It's kind of a crazy time right now. How are you doing through the whole COVID thing?
I'm good. I am an essential worker, so just focused on that. Trying to get back into wrestling, trying to keep with it. I miss it.
What type of essential work do you do?
I work at a Dollar General right now, so just trying to get people the essentials. Not very fun, but it is what it is.
Definitely got to stay safe out there. So kind of start before this COVID thing. How did you get involved in wrestling?
So I've always been really interested in wrestling, and it's actually kind of a funny story. So one day I was just at an Apple store getting my phone fixed, and the guy that was fixing my phone, we got on the topic of wrestling, and he was like, "Hey, there's actually a dude here who works for a wrestling company. Like, I'm going to go get him and y'all can talk." And so he invited me to go to a local wrestling show, and I met a couple of the guys, and from there I've been in it.
Nice. And did you watch wrestling before that, or just that kind of dabbled in it?
So a lot of my relatives have always been huge wrestling fans, and so it's always been around me within t-shirts and video games and stuff like that. And so I had been a fan of it since I was really young, probably 4 or 5. And then by the time I was 9, I was watching it consistently and knew I wanted to be a wrestler.
Nice. And now, so tell me about your first bump. Like when you decided you were going to do it, you went into training, and you're like, okay, and that bump happens. What went through your mind?
Honestly, that was one of the most terrifying moments of my life. I was super nervous. I think it wasn't even a normal bump. I believe it was a body slam or something. So I didn't even learn a normal bump. It was a body slam or something like that. So it was definitely very intense. I was very overwhelmed, and thankfully bumping is second nature to me now.
So when did you start? What year did you start in?
I started training in 2018, and then I came to Elevate in 2019, and I debuted in October of 2019.
Okay, so what was that debut like?
It was literally the most amazing moment of my entire life. I can't even express how I felt. It was just an incredible moment. I remember going to the back and just like all of my emotions were just crazy because it was just like something I had waited for so long.
Nice. And now, when we're training or when we're learning something new, we're kind of like a sponge. We're just kind of soaking up as much information as possible. Is there one thing that somebody told you, or somebody taught you that you think that's going to be like stick with you for the rest of your life as far as your wrestling career?
I think really what's helped me is the mindset that training is for mess ups, because a lot of the time I was just scared to make mistakes. And, once someone told me that, it helped me a lot because I didn't feel like I had to be so perfect with what I was doing.
Nice. Yeah, that happened to me when I was starting in journalism. I realized like everybody, my professor told me like everybody makes mistakes. So once you get past that, then it became so much easier. So I guess
Yeah.
it's a metaphor for life too.
Mhm.
So now when you do you have time to watch? Because I know like busy lives, like you being a wrestler, you might not necessarily have time to watch wrestling, but do you
Mhm.
have time to watch wrestling, or do you kind of see things on social media or YouTube and stuff like that? And if so, what do you watch?
Honestly, I really haven't had the time to watch wrestling lately, which really sucks because I do want to get back into, watching it consistently. But I do try and keep up with what's going on NXT and AEW and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely don't have a ton of time to keep up with it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like even though like the shutdown, essential workers. Like I'm an essential worker myself. Essential workers, like you're still like working, and then so I
Yeah,
find and there's so much wrestling. It's just like it's absolutely crazy to keep up with them. So I feel like
definitely.
I'm 2 days behind at least, which is, you
Yeah,
know, it is what it is. Now,
yeah.
do you have any favorite wrestlers?
Honestly, Tommaso Ciampa is probably one of my favorites. I really like Marco Stunt and Colt Cabana from AEW.
Okay.
And all-time favorite though is forever CM Punk.
Nice. Now, do you like? Is it just favorite to watch, or do you like pattern your not necessarily pattern your style after them, but do you like? Is there certain wrestlers that you like? Okay, this is similar to what I do, and you kind of look at them with a little bit more critical eye.
Someone for that would be Alexa Bliss. She was like who heavily inspired my character actually. And so because we're basically the same height, I do like really look up to her in the way that she wrestles. And so yeah, I do enjoy watching her in the ring.
Yeah, I saw one of your promos on YouTube. It's like really, really good. So as far as training wise, did you include like mic skills as like one of the things that you have to like make sure that you're trying to master as well?
Well, at first, whenever I started with Elevate, it wasn't like top priority, but very quickly it became like one of our things in training.
Mhm.
And so, the owner of Elevate, Brittany, she is obviously, a ring announcer as well. And so she's really big on that. And so we would have classes on that. But I basically just like started with practice promos and progressively got better.
Nice. Yeah, I was talking to somebody literally the other day about like about a superstar, and we were talking about how this person's not getting the push, and I was just kind of like, if they had great mic skills, it'd be a lot easier. But the fact that
Yeah.
they've been in the game so long and their mic skills are just not, it's just okay. It's just a
Mhm.
lot harder. Like that's why you just see those pushes once in a while. So like I think mic skills, especially in the era that we're in right now, is just so important. So
It
kudos to you
definitely is.
for
Yeah.
definitely like working on that. Now, as
Thank you so
character wise, you said you kind of patterned it after Alexa Bliss, but did you start before that? Was there like, okay, this is who I am, and you just kind of pumped it up a little bit more, or how did your character come about?
Yeah, I like to think of my character as just me normally, but turned up to 11. Like, it's just like I am a very like high maintenance person, very
Mhm.
girly. And so I knew that, with my wrestling character, I wanted basically that to be it because it felt easiest and it felt like something I could really connect to. And
Yeah.
then Glamorous was a nickname I had when I was really younger. So
Oh
I
wow.
figured it was like the perfect thing. And also so people know how to pronounce my name.
It's and it's written how it's spelled, but then you just I don't know about everybody else, but I kind of question it's like, yeah, because I have a long name too, which I don't use obviously, but like it's like I think it's right, but I'm not sure. So it's like a double Dutch type thing, but it,
Yeah.
it it's written how it's spelled, which is the easiest part. Now what motivates you? Like what, going to training and getting started in wrestling, especially, with everything, like not only do you have the social media aspect of kind of putting yourself out there and, working on your craft and then the shows, well, prior to COVID and the shows, all that stuff. What motivates you to stick through it?
Wrestling has just always been like a huge love of mine. Like it's always been that one part of my life that's always been there for me. And so because I have such a big love for it, like I've never like my motivation never really goes away for it, but also like I really enjoy performing. I was a dancer for 12, 13 years. And so like it's just a big part of my life. So that's kind of just like it's normal to me.
Okay. And now, yeah, let's talk about the dancing thing. Like, I mean, a lot of people, they're former athletes, or you have Naomi, who's a former dancer. What did you take some of the elements from your dancing and training into wrestling?
Yeah, definitely. I think my flexibility helped a lot. And then also being so good with choreography definitely helped a lot and helps a lot in wrestling.
Okay, nice. So as far as 5-year goal or even a 1-year goal, let's just say COVID is not a thing, hopefully. 2021, I guess. What's the goal for your wrestling career?
I think within the next year, I would like to travel between like 5 and 7 states to wrestle. That's like my ultimate goal right now.
Nice. And then as far as if you can wave a magic wand and like you're establishing your career, who would you love to have a match with?
Oh goodness. I can't even think of Danny Jordan, actually. Danny Jordan is someone I like heavily look up to. She's an incredible woman doing incredible things in the business. And I think that having a match with her would be amazing.
Okay. And now as far as like you've been watching wrestling for a while, the women's evolution has been kind of it's hit its forefront at the moment.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to see in women's wrestling or, wrestlers who happen to be female, that hasn't happened yet? Or where do you hope it's going to be in the next few years?
I really just want it to be taken more seriously. Like whenever I got into wrestling and I first wanted to be a wrestler, it was like the Divas era. And so it wasn't really taken seriously yet. It was kind of just known as the bathroom breaks, which I personally hated. Right. And so I really I'm proud of where it's going, but I definitely still think there's a lot more to be done. And I feel like women in the business still are not necessarily respected as much as they should be.
Okay. So your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, of female wrestlers, who would be in your Mount Rushmore?
Oh goodness. AJ Lee, definitely like top inspiration. Alexa Bliss and oh goodness, probably the Bellas. Those are just like 4 that have like really inspired me and like created my character basically.
Yeah. And the good thing about the majority of them is it's beyond wrestling, meaning that they, even when wrestling stopped, they have a lot of things going, which is very admirable, especially just even if you're not a wrestler, just in general, like multiple streams of income and still staying relevant, even if you've, graduated past the ring. So that's a good thing. Now beyond wrestling, like and beyond, working, what do you do for fun? What's the outside wrestler like?
My top thing is I really enjoy doing like makeup and face paint. That's like my main hobby. I'm trying to turn it into a second career actually. Okay. And so typically, on my days off, I'm just doing face paint.
Now, are you like, do you do other wrestlers makeup as well, or have you started doing that? Or
I've definitely done it in the past. Yeah, I've done makeup or face paint for a couple of wrestlers, and I definitely want to continue to do it in the future.
Nice. Yes, past COVID, we'll put it in the
yes, absolutely.
So now, what's the first thing that you're gonna do once? I mean, I don't even like this whole COVID thing is just so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know about your state, but in California, they just pretty much closed everything down. I think it's only been like a week that it's been open, maybe 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I don't think there's gonna be like a hard stop. But let's just say, in 6 months from now, it's gone. Like, what's the first thing that you're going to do?
I really I want to get back to traveling. I really am like, I love traveling a lot. And I feel like I'm like, that was something that was supposed to be a huge part of my 2020. And now I feel so stuck and I hate it. So I definitely want to travel to a few different states.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I feel like 2020, this should be like a leap year. And we just skip it, and then next year should be 2020 again.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm sure that's possible because it's like calendars are all like kind of made up in some sort of way. So
exactly, yeah.
So let's talk to somebody about that. So now let's as training wise, are you still training during this pandemic?
Yeah, we like stopped for like a month or 2, and we just recently got back to it about a month ago. It's been really fun, and I'm happy to be back in the ring.
So how's the training changed as far as that? Like, are you guys wearing masks, or is it limited individuals in the training facility, or?
Yeah, we definitely do not have like basically half of the class coming. Like we only have probably about 6 to 8 people every week,
Okay.
and we are very just with all of that. So, you know, it's still a very like safe and good environment, thankfully.
Okay, nice. Well, now we're gonna get into some rapid hot tags. So I'm gonna say a sentence. You're gonna say the first thing that comes to mind. Are you ready?
I think so.
It's pretty much safe. Brittany went through it too. It's you know, it's a safe environment here.
Okay.
Here we go. Always early or always late?
Always late.
Last person you text?
My trainer.
What is the one thing you love about yourself?
My hair.
You do have some good hair.
Thank you.
Dream dinner guest.
Oh God, I don't know, Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, that's it. That's an interesting one. I think he'd be a good guest. Who would play you in a movie?
Dove Cameron, because everyone says I look like her.
Okay. Last show you binge watched?
90 Day Fiance.
My business partner, she absolutely loves that show. She tweets about it, Instagrams about it all the time, and I'm like,
yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but she's slowly getting me. I might get into it.
Yeah.
If your last meal, like before you leave this earth, what would it be?
Probably just a ton of French fries.
Okay, just ketchup, mustard, mayo.
Ranch. Ranch.
Okay, ranch.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're learning some new things here. I like that. And then, if you can listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Probably anything by the band State Champs. They're my favorite band, my go-to. So anything by them.
Okay, nice. See, they're rapid hot tags all done. Nice. Everybody's safe. There's no wounds. We're good.
Oh, super scary. Yeah.
And now, as far as people finding you, where can they find you?
My Twitter is Amaris Blair with an extra R at the end. And then my Instagram is amaris.blair. And I think my Facebook is just Amaris Blair.
Okay, sounds good. Now, as far as training, because I know when we had Brittany on, we were kind of, you know, spitballing as far as this pandemic is staying a little bit longer than we all expected. Is there going to be any like online stuff, or, you know, like maybe a house show that's not open to the public? What's the kind of the plans for Elev8Pro as far as you know?
Yeah, we actually, a few weeks back, we did a little, you know, filming for our YouTube channel. And then I think at the end of this month, we're going to do another one. That way we can still, you know, have footage coming out.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for joining the show. Really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate you taking the time. Looking forward to the rest of your career. Like I said, that promo, and I'm pretty critical on promos because that's kind of what hooks me as far as investing into, you know, a person. So your promo was really, really good. So I'm looking forward to more stuff and you excelling in your career. Thank you so much again for joining us. Thank you guys. No problem. And thank you guys for watching us. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you follow AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms and follow Women's Wrestling Weekly on all social media platforms as well, because even though there is a pandemic, we still come out with interviews because there are plenty of female wrestlers around to interview, and we really appreciate them. And we really appreciate you, Amaris, for coming on the show. And don't forget to follow my co-hosts. You have Emily. You have to check I think it's Emily May Hellard. I should know that by now, but I think I'm correct. And then the Brian Santos on Instagram as well. And you can follow me on everything as well at TK Trinidad. Till next time, guys. We really appreciate you guys for joining us. Ciao.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.